Hello and a very good afternoon. Good morning. Welcome back to Crafters TV. My name's Ben Mosby. First day here with our new expanded schedule, and I tell you what, we have been having so much fun so far today. If you've missed any of the shows already, if you've missed Craig's wake up call earlier on, you can check back on that. And of course, Craft Vault as well a little bit earlier on was super busy. So more shows crammed either side of our two main shows that we always bring to you here on Crafters TV. Of course, coming up a little bit later on, got Creative Cravings, but this show is the one which I've been looking forward to, and I know our fab crafter who I'm with today as well has been really looking forward to it, because this is launch day and you know what this is about, right? You tune in specifically because it's your opportunity to see brand new products which we're going to bring to you on this show, products which I think you're going to love, products which you had a little sneaky peek of earlier on this morning if you were watching, Craig. But we've got the official launch, and whilst we're always really excited about launch day, one lady who is uber excited, because as I understand it, this is her first official launch here on Crafters TV. It's the lovely Jan. Hello, Jan.
Hi. Oh my goodness, honestly, it is. You're quite right, Ben. I need to slow down and calm down because I'm just a little bit overexcited over here. My very first launch day show. I did pop in very briefly this morning to make an appearance on Craig's Wake Up with Craig this morning.
Yeah.
This one's my first launch day show. Brand new product for you, and it's the thing that I love doing best. And I think Sarah knew this when she said, oh, you know, we'll let Jan do this one. She knows that I love my stamping, and these are stamps that you will get so much use out of. So I am really excited about bringing you lots of different ways that we can use them in conjunction with the products we've got on the show, but really nice sort of focal point stamps, photopolymer stamps at that, so good quality, long-lasting stamps that are going to do you all sorts of different designs. So yes, come on in, come and watch.
Absolutely, it is the Abstract Shape Stamp Collection, Jan's first launch, so make sure you get in touch, get your comments in on Facebook, on YouTube. Of course, you can get in touch with us on our email as well, studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. Let us know which ones you love the most when we show them to you. Let us know which you'll be looking forward to using the most too. Yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be a really popular show. Michelle is in. Sarah in Melbourne says, hello everyone again. Vicky's in. Hello for the third time, says Vicky. Hello. Monica says, hi again, everyone. Detroit is here and ready to go, as is Diane. Solomon Bell says, good morning, all. Well, let's dive straight in here and show you these. I'll tell you what, I'll show you the actual stamps themselves, and then we'll have a look at some finished samples with Jan to kick off, because do you know what? These are something just a little bit different. As Jan was talking about, you know, if you're wanting like top quality stamps, you've got them right here. Photopolymer are these, and as you can see, just very different stamps which are going to be focal points for all of your projects. And what I love with these as well as the focal point of the stamp, you have got corresponding sentiments to go with this as well. So this one here is your blossoming florals. Yeah, you've got that really amazing floral shape, but then within the floral stamp itself, all of these gorgeous flowers. I love it, really love it. And the thing is, and the thing that you'll see, yes, absolutely, this is going to be something which you're going to be using as a focal point, but so many different ways to use these. If you want to use these in your backgrounds, you can as well. And lots of different things that you can use with them too, as we'll be showing you over the course of the show. That one comes with You Make Me Smile. Thank you so much, and you are wonderful. I don't know if I've got a card, or was the card I saw a little bit earlier on. It's got a bit of a sort of a flower power feel about it with that one particularly. Absolutely love it. From flowers to hearts. And again, what I love about this one is that you've got that heart shape in the stamp itself. Big size stamps as well, by the way. But then you've got the florals within the heart, which I think is so cool. Have a beautiful day. Friendship is a flower that blooms in all seasons, and you are blooming fabulous. Are the sentiments that you'll get with that one. Absolutely gorge. This one, oh, I kind of want this on the dressing room door. My dressing room door.
That'd be good, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't
Yeah.
it, eh? With, you know, presenter Ben underneath, that would be marvellous. Because look at that, gorgeous. Producer Johnny's going, yeah, we'll get that sorted. I'll hold you to that. Make a note of that. But yeah, nice big size stamp again. The stars within the star, absolutely love it. And the sentiments are great. It's your time to shine. You are amazing. And believe you can. and you're halfway there. Love those sentiments, the kind of things I think, you know what, you want to be popping in your cards right now if you're making those sort of just because cards to kind of give people a bit of a, you know, a cheer up and a lift. Absolutely super for that. And then take a look at this. Wow, wow, wow. If you love butterflies, look at that. It is gorgeous. Again, the butterflies within the butterfly, got all the foliage in there as well. Just think how amazing you're going to be able to make that look with all of your inks and mediums that you're going to be able to use with that to create some beautiful projects, home decor, cards of course as well. Wishing you happiness. You are always in my thoughts. And life isn't perfect, but it does have perfect moments. Gorgeous. All of those for £28 today. What I love here at Crafters TV is we bring you a new launch, and in my little mind, I always think, well, if it's a new launch, then surely we're going to launch this at the price that it should be at. But we don't do that, which I find so bizarre. You know, it should be full price, but no, you're making a saving today, saving over 10%. So £28 if you're shopping with us here in the UK, $35 if you're shopping with us in the US, and of course you can take your 20% off that as well. If you're platinum, $22.40 on a brand new collection today, or $28 is the price you're paying if you're watching in the US. So savings to be had on a brand new launch. And as someone who loves their stamping, Jan, I would imagine that you're very excited about this new collection.
I just think there's so many possibilities, Ben, and this is what I like about stamps. You've got them for life. You know, a little bit of tender care for them, a bit of housework when you're cleaning them up and what have you, but they're going to last you a lifetime. And the photopolymer is a really good quality for stamping. You get a nice crisp image. And what I want to try and do today, my job is to show you lots of different ways to use them. We're going to use quite a bit of heat embossing today because we've also got the pigment inks coming up on the show, which I think Ben will go into later. But if you want to get ahead with us, I believe we've got all the colours back in stock on the website. So I'm going to use those in conjunction with my demos, and we're going to add some different types of embossing powder. So just to give you an example with the samples here, we've got a gorgeous copper tone on this one where the star's been done. Can you see if I tilt that? Look how that catches the light there. Wow. Absolutely beautiful. You don't need much more than that on your card. Just match it up with a few of your papers, or if you like making backgrounds. I'm going to try and show you all these things today. It's a case of how much can we fit into one show. But yeah, and the other thing that I liked about them is that you can cut elements out. If you like fussy cutting, you've got all those images within an image, and the first demo that I'm going to do, I'm going to show you what I mean by this. But this, I think this is a favourite of mine. I love the heart. I'm going to start with this one. Okay. And that really nice big flower here, I've actually cut out, I've just hand cut, fussy cut it out, and I'm going to overlay it over the top. So again, there's all these little tiny ones that you could use as embellishments. You could decorate the insides of your card with them. But just look at this, look at the heart. Can we fit that one in? My goodness, look how tall that we might.
I know, it's too big for the screen.
We're going to have to zoom out a little bit on that one, aren't we? Look at that, my goodness. But yeah, using more than one on the front of a card. There could be an accent on a scrapbook page, could be home decor. I mean, that would make a lovely home decor piece, wouldn't it? Just hung, framed in a nice frame, but beautiful. And then we've got that flower. If I bring you this one, and this has been stamped onto Centura Pearl, so you've actually got that little bit of shimmer in the background with the ink there. And you can see what I mean about fussy cutting. Can you just see where that's got those 3 extra layers that have been stamped and put on top? So yeah, you know, those could be in a different colour, they can be the same colour, mixed and matched with your background papers. What about using that lovely white opaque ink pad and stamping on your black cardstock? Completely different look there. Put the colour behind it, but just bringing that white into play. I think that's something, I know we've all got it in our stash, and it's like everybody's a little bit like, what do I do with a white ink pad? But there you go, onto your black card. And bring in that embossing powder. This is a version of that first one, but again, if I tilt it, can you see that lovely shimmer from the silver embossing powder? So we're going to get cracking with some of those. And then the last one I've got is that butterfly again there. Lovely gatefold design there. We're going to come across one of those a little bit later on. But yeah, absolutely beautiful. So much scope to go, so much versatility with them. Can't wait to get started, Ben.
I know, and get get started, we will very soon. Lots of hellos coming in. Let us know where you're watching from today. Cheryl is saying, good morning, Jan and Ben from Niagara Falls.
Oh,
wow, amazing.
Good morning.
And good morning to my crafty friends from Indiana. Good morning from Connecticut, says Karen. And I so enjoy both of you, says Carol. We enjoy being here as well. Loving the new schedule, loving that we can pack more in to these shows and to bring you more shows as well. Lots more hellos to do. Must just say, if you want to see anything, if you want to ask Jan any questions, get those questions in. And actually, we are seeing lots of new crafters. We had some questions earlier on from sort of real beginner questions, which is absolutely fine because you know what, we're getting people watching us all the time, particularly in the UK. I think during lockdown, people are looking for new hobbies. They're turning to us here at Crafters TV to look what they can get into. So if you are brand new and you don't understand something, ask a question. If we use a particular phrase or say something, you think, well, what does that mean? Don't be afraid to ask a question, because if we don't answer it here, I know all of our lovely crafters who are watching on Facebook and YouTube will certainly dive in and help you, because that's what it's all about here at Crafters TV. We are one big crafty family, and we want to see beginners becoming more experienced. We want you to be able to make the cards, use these stamps, and make some amazing projects and send them to us so we can share them eventually with everybody else. Now, before we get onto the stamps, must just point at the Midas ink pads, the metallic pigment ink pad collection. Now, the complete collection is here. I'm led to believe that a lot of these have been out of stock over the course of the last few weeks, but we have got the full collection for you here. Producer Johnny is saying he hasn't seen these for months. So we've got the full range of colours in as a 12-piece collection. £47 or $76, you're saving $12.98 or $19.40. So all of the colours that you are going to get here include your amethyst, your gold, and they've got that metallic pigment in here. So, Jan, I guess as a little added extra to go with your stamps today, if I just show the colours, maybe you can just sort of tell us how these differ to your standard sort of ink pads.
I think the metallic bit gives it away, Ben. These are actually, they look great on a darker coloured cardstock.
Yeah.
If you're stamping on white card, you'll get the pigment show through the colour. If you're stamping on a darker colour, so things like navy, brown, black, you'll get that lovely metallic sheen come through that almost looks, it's almost like a faux embossing. Those two cards that I just showed had embossing powder put over the top, but with the metallic ink pads, you get that sheen from the ink. They're absolutely beautiful.
And there are some absolutely gorgeous
Lovely
colours in
range
here
of
as well.
colours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they really are. Just your bronze, through your red garnet there as well, and then you've got that jade green. And I'd imagine again that these are the kind of things that you look after them properly, they're going to last a long time for you as well.
Of course, yeah. I mean, I don't think I've ever, in all my crafting history,
Yeah.
and it goes back further than I'd like to remember, I don't think I've ever replaced an ink pad, and I've got a lot, trust me. I've got our brand, I've got other brand ink pads, and I don't think I've ever replaced or re-inked an ink pad. Yeah, just keep looking after them.
Wow, well there you go.
Yep.
Get them today, the full collection, 47 or 76, less your 20% of course again if you are a platinum member, $37.60 or $60.80 for the full collection, and again you'll be seeing those in action over the course of this show. We've also got the full collection of your opaque opaque. I'm
Teeth out, back in.
I was catching this. It was Craig earlier on that you couldn't. What was it that Craig couldn't say? Oh, specific. Harmony opaque pigment ink pads. Oh, that's not
It's a
easy
bit of a
to
tongue
say.
twister, that one, isn't it?
Oh yeah. Should have practiced though. Should have done me gargling and me singing before the show. You see, that's my job to try and to be able to pronounce things correctly. 13-piece collection here, £50 or $70. Once again, in a range of colours. So again, just for people who are watching for the first time, then how are these differing to the metallic ink pads we saw just a few moments ago?
I think if you go right through the range of ink pads, these are actually a pigment ink. So this is natural colouring, and you get a really nice strong colour. But the beauty about these, the best effect you get from these, I think, is it's a sticky ink, Ben.
Yes.
So it stays wet longer, which allows you to do those embossing techniques, which we're going to do quite a lot of today. Different ways of doing it. Usually, I've particularly used the pigment inks in the demos to show you how to get the best results from them. Yeah, pigment is a natural colouring, so you get a really bright, strong colour. And then obviously the fact that it's sticky means it stays wet long enough for you to apply either a clear or a coloured embossing powder over the top of it.
Awesome.
So different techniques to what we'd get with such as the quick dry and the water reactive and the metallic ones. They've all got their own purpose.
Well, again, you can see all of the glorious colours that you're going to get, finishing off with that pale fig there. So 13 of those, £50 or $70. Again, saving almost £15 or over $20 on that collection today. Definitely worth popping into your basket with your 20% off as well if you're a Platinum member. £40 or $56 is the deal on that. Lots of lovely messages coming in. I tell you what, already people jumping in for the stamps. Producer Johnny just telling me, by the way, 10% of the stock has already gone. All right, 10% of the stock has already gone. And by the way, I do know this because we were having the meeting before the show. Makes me sound like I don't normally know what's going on. But we had a little meeting, and I always know what's going on in case the bosses are watching. Once these go, we're not going to be getting these back in stock until summertime, so June, July time. So just to let you know, if you're thinking, oh, I might just wait until these, if we sell them out in this show, they won't be back until June, July time. So get them if you love them. Cheryl saying, excited to see what Jan creates. Regina saying, love Jan's demos. Monica, love these stamps. My type of stamp. And Kay saying, love those stamps. Just what we need. Cheery and fun. I'll just quickly show you them again, and then we want to get seeing some demos. We want to see these in action. But here you go, the full collection, brand new today. Are we charging you full price? No, we're not, because we're like that. £28 is all you'll pay, or $35. Take your 20% off that, and you're paying even less, $22.40. It works out £5.60 a set. Instead, $9.99 normally is what you would pay. You've got the gorgeous perfect butterfly in this collection. You're then going to get your blooming heart. Gorgeous. I love the idea as well, like Jan saying, you know what, fussy cutting into these as well. There's so many different things that you can do, and you get with each of those the beautiful sentiments as well. Then you're going to get your gorgeous, gorgeous blossoming florals. Once again, look at that, flowers within flowers. You make me smile. Thank you so much. You are wonderful. And then last, but by no means least, I think that's my fave, that star. Your time to shine. You're amazing. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. Grab yours now whilst you can, because if you get it now, you can then be safe in the knowledge that these are on their way to you, and then you can enjoy the rest of the show and enjoy all of the demos which we've got coming up. I suppose the question is, so many lovely stamps, Jan, within this collection. Which one are you going to start with?
Oh, it's got to be the heart, Ben. I love this one, and I think obviously, you know, we're in a brand new year, 2021. I know it's only January, but we've got Valentine's Day coming up next month as well. So this would be a perfect, and that's where I was sort of thinking with the demo on this one. Okay. So I've picked the blooming heart one to start off with, and I just want to show you the actual stamps. They are a really good size. You can see there on the packaging you've got all the sizing. So this one's just over 4 inches by nearly 6 inches tall. Is that right? Yeah, 5.8. Yeah, nearly 6 inches tall. So, and then you've got those gorgeous sentiments that you can pick to go with it. But of course, don't forget, if you're buying the set, which is where you get that best saving, you can mix and match your sentiments. You know, you might like a sentiment from another set that goes particularly with that heart.
Yeah, I love that.
So what we're going to do then, I'm going to set up my stall because we're going to do a little bit of embossing. So I've got my anti-static pad, which I'll talk to you about what that's for in a second. Okay. I've got my lovely Chinese red ink because I want to bring them down a little bit there. I want a nice bright red image on this one, bearing in mind we're going for Valentine's Day. And then I'm going to use my magnetic stamping platform, which I know a lot of you have already got at home anyway. And I want to re-stamp. I want to do more than one go at it, which is why I've brought this one in. So let's just pop those on there. I am using a piece of our stamping card, and I've just cut that down to the size that I wanted for my project, which is 5 inches square. So I'm going to pop that onto the grid there, just line it up, pop my magnets on, and then the reason I've brought my anti-static pad is because I want to do some heat embossing. So we're going to use some clear embossing powder. And what happens with the cardstock is it picks up bits, picks up dust. It also picks up our fingerprints. So even though you think your hands are clean, the oils in your skin get on the card, and trust me, embossing powder loves to stick to anything it can literally get to. So all the anti-static bag is it's a little bit of powder in here. Yes. And I'm just going to wipe it all over the card, and that will get rid of any of those fingerprints or anything else that might be on my card. And then it means that that embossing powder is going to be encouraged, she says, throwing it on it, encouraged to just stick to where you want it to, where you've stamped, okay?
Yes, got you.
Now, a little trick for you with the stamping today. I'm going to pop this one down onto the card where I want it. You can see mine's just a little bit tinged there.
Yeah.
Yours will come beautiful and clean.
Gorgeous.
When we're using, like we talked about the pigment inks, with them being a natural pigment, then you do sometimes get a little bit of staining, particularly with the reds and the pinks. Doesn't damage the stamp, it just leaves that little bit of colour on them. So I'm going to place that where I want it on my card, and then I'm going to pick that up with my platform. Okay, so the tip that I want to show you today, I've actually brought in my pigment ink in the Chinese red, and because the colour family goes through all of our ink pads, I've also bought the quick dry in. And the reason I've done that is I want a really, really bright, solid colour.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use the quick dry first to get that depth of colour, and literally it dries instantly like it says. And then the last layer, I'm going to bring in the pigment one over the top and give me that sticky coating to then add the embossing powder to. So I'm just going to get my embossing powder ready, because it pays to have everything at the ready when we're doing this. So just fish. I hope my husband will be wondering where his teaspoon's gone for his cup of tea. Honestly, he'll be sat there wondering what the heck's she done with that.
It's about that time, isn't it, actually? Yeah, cup of tea. You'll be having to...
So, ink pad to the stamp then.
Yeah.
And we're just going to ink this up the first time, give it a good liberal coating, and this is the quick dry ink first. All right, so we're going to do one layer with that and get that positioned on the card there. So nice even pressure. Just give it a second or two for that ink to transfer to your cardstock. I'm using stamping card here, but you could also use our Nina cardstock.
Yes.
They both work well. You want a smooth finish on your card for this. And then we've got, just look at that to start with.
Pretty good.
Absolutely stunning. But I want to build up that colour. So I'm going to go for another layer with the quick dry to get a little bit more depth of red. And then we're going to come in with that lovely sticky ink from the Pigment Ink Pad to get that embossing powder on top.
Stamping cards on a 4 for $30 if you want to grab any of that today, or $42. And we do have the stamping platforms on the show as well.
Oh, are they back in stock?
Yeah, we got the 4x4.
Oh, right,
and
I thought you meant this one.
6x6. Oh, no.
Oh.
No. But if you are someone perhaps who's looking for a bit of help with your stamping, we do have the 4x4 and 6x6, which are super useful as well.
Can you see how that colour's building up now? Yeah, I'm going to go for a third one, just to be on the safe side. I just want it to be really, really strong colour, and I'm going to show you what I mean at the end, the difference. So again, we're just going to go one more, and just in that middle section there, I want a bit more pressure on there, just to build up that colour.
Yeah.
As many times as you want. The beauty of having this, there we go, look, really, really solid. And then I'm going to bring, for my top layer, I'm going to bring in that same colour, the Chinese red, but this is the pigment ink.
Right.
So the quick dry, you couldn't emboss. It literally dries instantly, like it says on the tin. So we want something that's going to stay what we call open, stay damp, say sticky, wet, whatever you want to call it, long enough to get that embossing powder to stick to it.
So just to recap on what you're saying here, so you can use this individually, but this is a great technique to use the two different types of stamp together.
I'm going to show you what it looks like individually so that you can see the difference when this one's finished, because I've done an extra piece as an embellishment with just the pigment ink. And again, you can build it up, you know, you can do layer upon layer upon layer of the sticky ink. I just think for the base, personally, I like that quick dry underneath. Yeah. And then we've now got that sticky layer on. Look how beautiful that is now. If we bring in the embossing powder, and literally I'm just going to pop that over the top. And that's
2 sugars for me, please, Jan.
They're laughing now at the size of my tub of embossing powder. Do you know why? I very rarely use, I have brought some colours today, but I very rarely use coloured embossing powder. I nearly always use coloured ink and then emboss with a clear powder. And the reason for that is clear powder is very forgiving. Yeah. If you've got, if I did this in clear sticky ink and then did it with red powder, any specks of red that you get elsewhere, all of a sudden are going to start showing up, whereas the clear is really good.
Can I just say as well, having it in like a big tub, I mean, such a simple idea, because I've seen so many people before who will like use a small tub, pour it all out and then have to shake it back in.
I'm afraid later on, Ben, I might have to resort to that. It's only my clear. I have bought a big tub of clear ink, clear embossing powder. That's why I've decanted it into the container.
Right.
The other ones are just the little ones.
So I'm not so impressed anymore, Jan. I'll take it back.
I've ruined it now, haven't I? So, All I've done is bring my heat tool up to temperature, and this is why I want from home. It's just a gentle heat, this one. Now again, we've talked about heating from above or underneath, whichever your preference is. On air, I'm going to come from the bottom so that you can watch this now, because when I hold it underneath, you'll be able to see. I'm up in this top right-hand corner here. And when it starts to penetrate the card, can you see now, look in that corner?
Top right-hand corner.
And it's an excellent way to show you that embossing process. When we do it from above it, sometimes the heat tool gets in the way.
Yes.
All I would say is just be careful of your fingers, because it does get quite hot.
All right.
But look how that's coming to life now. So I'm just going to turn it round so that I can get my fingers out of the way there.
Look how close we can get in as well with our new technology.
Absolutely beautiful.
Charlotte's there on the joystick and the buttons today.
So just follow it round, chase it round the design. You don't need to hover over it any longer. Once it's melted, move on to the next part of the design. And when you've got to the bottom there, it's done. Okay, that's all you need to do to it.
Brilliant.
So if we can get a nice close-up on this now, you can see how you've got that lovely red glossy.
Well, you can see it from a distance.
If I tilt that now, look, can you
that.
see that glossy finish on it there? Absolutely stunning. Now, what I said was, if we actually bring in a piece that I've done with just the pigment ink. Now this hasn't got the embossing powder over the top, this is just the ink. But can you see the different depths of colour there? So it depends what you're looking for. You know, you could overstamp the pigment ink 2 or 3 times and you get the depth of colour, but just by adding that quick dry underneath, it builds it up a little bit quicker, saves your pigment ink, because that sticky ink's the one that you want for the embossing techniques, and you get that lovely rich colour. So literally all I've done now, I did this exactly the same at home, and I've matted it. Look how different it looks just on a piece of black card there. So this was the one we've just done. Okay. And then just by adding that black mat underneath it, it just brings it out, makes it pop. So let's pop this together then. So what I've done is I've created sort of a, I don't know what we'd call this. I've chopped a bit off. I've got my my card, which measures just over 7.5 by 6, but I've chopped a piece off this edge here. So we're going to mat and layer. I have actually got my red, this is actually red glitter card. It could be red Centura Pearl. You could actually, if you want, if you haven't got red card, then you could go in with your ink and just ink up a piece of white card just round the edge so that you know that the red matches perfectly. But I just pinched a little bit of glitter card out of my stock for that base layer. We're going to pop that one on the front. And then this piece I've created to fit down this side just to echo that, that lovely floral image. All right, so again, pop that on with our tape pen. I'm just going to pop that on the side here. I've just cut it slightly smaller than the bit that was left on the card there. And then we're going to mat this one on top. Now, because we're going for the glitter card, I'm just going to pop some wet glue on here. The tape pens are great, brilliant double-sided tape. But I just think for that little bit of extra insurance on top of my glitter card, I prefer a wet glue. So this is just our tacky glue, which is a wet PVA glue, and it just gives it a chance to soak into the glitter card, and you get a really good adhesion on there. So we'll pop that one on there. And then what I was talking about earlier, about fussy cutting, again, if we sort of look now about this one, this is literally this part of the stamp here. And all I've done is done it again, and I've embossed it again. You can just see that shimmer on there. And I'm literally going to line it up with the one underneath, and we're just going to pop that as an extra embellishment on top. So I've got a little foam pad just to raise it on the back of there. And again, we'll just line that up just on top of it there. And then off that same set, we've got Have a Beautiful Day, which is one of the sentiments from the heart. But like I said, if you're buying all the sets, you can mix and match those sentiments and make them work for you there. So again, we're going to put that on. Just need a bit of glue on this half of here. And we're going to pop that to one side, like so. And then I couldn't decide. What do you think, Ben? I've got a little tiny bow, which I thought would look... I don't know whether it covers up the flower or not.
Well, the thing is, when I get asked my opinion, more often than not, they go the other way. So I would say I prefer it there than where you put it initially.
I think it covers up the embellishment there, doesn't it? So, Yeah, I think we'll have it on that corner. So I've just got
Yeah.
a little tiny bit. My producer saying he likes it on that corner.
I got it right as well, Johnny, for the first time.
There we go. Look, just on that side piece there, just a little accent. And then I had brought some extra gems, which I'll just dress it up a little bit while you're talking. But just to show you that at the front there, you've got that. Okay.
Perfect.
So, red heart, thinking Valentine's Day, Ben. What do you think?
Well, absolutely.
Yeah.
I might grab that one before the before the end of the show. Happy Valentine's, Laura. You shouldn't have. I didn't. But don't forget as well, during this show and with all the shows, save the Craft Vault shows, we are looking for you to vote for your favourite demo, because once again, this Sunday, we will be showing you cards from all of the shows right throughout the week, recapping on some of those demos, and then you'll be able to vote for your Crafter of the Week. Who won it last week, actually? Oh!
No pressure.
Fiona won last week. Yes, with the picture frame we got up there, actually. So, yeah, could be Jan being our overall winner, but you've got to pick your favourite of Jan's demos today. That one already, I think, is proving very, very popular. We've got loads of questions coming in, so I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's just have a look at a few more comments, and I'll put these questions to Jan as well. Jean saying, love Jan's creativity, beautiful. Yes, says Sonia. I love embossing with these inks, and I used to saying ready to learn some new techniques. Christine saying, good morning again from Altoona, Pennsylvania. I learn a lot from Jan's stamping and embossing shows. Just received a new CC heating tool to emboss. The heck with housework, says Christine. Absolutely. Oh, that's the other thing today as well. It's just reminding me, Christine saying, should be getting on with the housework. What should you be getting on with at the minute, but you're not doing because you're watching us, because you're doing a bit of crafting? What have you been putting off that you should be doing? Maybe it's a New Year's resolution or something like that. Get in touch on Facebook and on YouTube. Betsy's saying, so glad to see Jan, as she's so awesome. And lots of people loving the technique with the 2 ink pads as well. Even saying, I would not have thought of using 2 different ink pads like this. Teresa saying, Jan, you have upped my game by using the ink pad. So there we are. That's what we're here for. Just picked up the stamp collection, says Michelle. Well done, Michelle. Great buy. And Betsy's saying, that card reminds me of the dating game show. Wow, I've just given my age away. Dating game. Is that a bit like Blind Date, maybe?
Maybe. The dating game.
Yeah. You have to tell us more about that, Betsy.
Yeah.
You have to tell us more about that. Loads of people loving the tips. Keep those comments coming in as well on Facebook, YouTube, and of course you can message us on our email as well, studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. Launch day today, Jan's first launch. Very excited, and you are loving this collection. 15% of the stock has gone inside the first half hour. Do you know what I love about this as well? It is a collection that is so versatile. And I think sometimes with like bigger collections, you might be thinking to yourself, well, actually the budget doesn't quite stretch, but it's £28 today. That is it, £28 or $35 for this collection. And you've seen just a snippet as to how versatile this collection can be for you as well. You've got that gorgeous star, the heart, the flower, and that butterfly. And then you've got so much detail and interest within the stamps themselves to use as a focal point, to use as backgrounds if you want to fussy cut into these 2 if you like as well. And the fact that, you can use so many different things with these 2. You've seen the different ink pads, the pigment ink pads, embossing with these as well. Just gorgeous. It's your time to shine you're going to get with this star. You've also got your amazing and believe you can, and you're halfway there. That comes with your gorgeous star, your shining star. And the thing is, like Jan was saying, again, you can mix and match the sentiments around with these 2. Use other sentiments that you've got. Blossoming florals, again, absolutely stunning. You make me smile. Thank you so much. And you are wonderful. Remember, top quality as well, because we're talking about these being your photo polymer stamps. This is the heart that we saw just a few moments ago. I love the idea that Jan was showing us there, the fact that you can fussy cut out and then layer up again like we saw on this little flower here. Such a great idea. It really is. Have a beautiful day. You are blooming fabulous, and friendship is a flower that blooms in all seasons. And then your last of the 4 is this gorgeous, perfect butterfly. Again, love that. You are always in my thoughts, wishing you happiness. And then you have got life isn't perfect, but it does have perfect moments. £28 today, $35. If you're brand new to us and you want to get into a craft stamping, So nice and easy to get started with, and a collection like that takes you across so many different occasions, so many different projects, whatever it might be, you will love that. If you are getting into stamping, one thing that you might want to go for, stamping platforms. Now, we've got this bundle here, which I think is super handy if you're wanting to make sure that you're kind of getting that perfect stamp each and every time. Maybe you're someone who has tried stamping before and fallen out of love with it. Maybe for whatever reason you find stamping difficult, this bundle really handy, because you're going to get your professional stamping mat. Alongside that, you're going to get 2 of those stamping platforms as well, so allowing you to get that kind of perfect weight of pressure. You know, if you're batch stamping, if you want to try and recreate some of the techniques that we've already seen where you're having to go kind of back into a stamp, these are absolutely perfect for doing that. £20 today or $27. And look at the deal, saving $10.97 or $15.95. Comes down even further, down to £16 or $21.60 if you're watching in the US, if you're a platinum member. That's a super handy bundle to go for. And then we've also got the trays as well. So if you are going for the inks that we've got on the show today, or maybe you've just got loads lying around at home, maybe that was your New Year's resolution to get your craft room sorted out and get it tidied up. These are absolutely perfect for that, for storing your ink pads. And this is brilliant because you're buying one, you're getting one free. Wow. You buy one, you get one free. $16.99 or $24.95. I pointed to Jan to do the you get one free, but it was a bit of a weak. Hang on a minute.
No, we didn't liaise that bit, did we? Shall we?
No, we'll do it that. So let's just rewind, pretend that didn't happen. Yes, there's a great deal here. So what happens is, you buy one,
you get one free. You love it.
What a team, a well-oiled machine. Yeah, so there you go, $16.99, $24.95. Now, something else which is back on the show, which has proved really popular on recent shows, the Ink Doorbell Storage Kit, £19.50. Now, apparently, last time this was on, Johnny was saying it wasn't £19.50. Well, what it was is I came in, I marched into the office, and I said, if we're not getting this on at the price I had it on before, it's not coming on the show. So you've got me to thank for that amazing price. £19.50. You get 40 doorbells in there, and you get the little storage rack to kind of put them all in as well. Lowest price I've seen these at, $19.50, $26, and we'll be seeing these in action in just a bit. Super handy to have for all of your inks, and of course you've got so many that you've almost got, I suppose, one for each and every colour that you've got within your collection. $19.50 or $26. So many lovely comments coming in, so thank you for all of these. Even saying, oh, we've read that one. Where are we? Let's have a look. Betsy saying, yes, the design of the dating game show. Thanks for all the tips, says Deborah. Love that heart. Beautiful. Sarah on Facebook says, do you ever feel like a teacher when calling out who is here, saying hello? Well, you're like calling a register. Maybe we should do that. You know, on the next show, we'll call out all of our registers, and if you're not here, you have to send me a note to say why you weren't watching. I used to say, love the card.
Fantastic. Right, I think, have you run out of batteries, Ben? Little technical bit is coming to get mended. So we're going to move on to the butterflies then next, all right? So the perfect butterfly. Again, say exactly the same idea. So if I move my packaging, you can see there we've got that lovely shaped butterfly. We'll just get on that the overhead for you so that you can see where we're at. And really nice size again to make that focal point. And this time made up of lots of little butterflies in between the foliage and the flowers on there. So we're going to do this. I'm going to do a similar technique this time, but we're going to use black ink instead of the red. So what I prepared ahead of time at home was just playing with my inks at home. So these are the pigment inks that you can also use for background. So they don't just have to be for using those sticky embossing techniques with. This has actually been done what I call the smooshy technique. So all I've done literally is put my ink onto the glass mat, or if you use a brown craft mat, it will work on there. Spritz it with a little bit of water and then then literally pick up the ink off the mat, and you get a lovely sort of chalky finish with the pigment inks. It's got that sort of, almost got like a texture to it. You can feel the chalky substance on it. And then what I've done, you can just see there's a little tiny bit of a butterfly in there where I've gone and overstamped. All right, with that lovely large focal point stamp there, I've just overstamped on the background. And then I just want to bring these in because these are one of my favourite little bits of tools. Look at these. I just think it's so pretty, honestly. I love it. But these are my daubers, as you can see, well loved. I've got one for every colour. And funnily enough, you know, it's as if we've thought about it and worked it out for you, because the trays that Ben just showed you, one box fits 18 inks. Your free one is 36, and there just happens to be 36 colours. So you've just got enough room to put all those inks and set them in your trays perfectly. You actually get 40 in here. I've got 4 spare ones that haven't been used. There's just the gap at the end there. But these are my 36 in colour bands. So I've got the browns, the yellows, the reds, and so on and so on. But ideally, I'm just going to pinch the little turquoise one there. And all I'm going to do is just bring in a bit of, this is the... I've managed to pick Quick Dry up instead of pigment, but we'll have a go. It's not the ideal ink for this, but the idea is just to literally, you know, it's just a way of applying. So all I'm doing here is just bringing it around the edge of my piece here, just to ink those edges and add a little bit of definition.
I think I'm back.
Around the edges. Are you back? Have we rebooted you, Ben?
We've rebooted.
Is it like when the telly goes off, we've had to switch you on and off again?
What it was, now and again, you just need to, with me, you just need to give it a little Control-Alt-Delete. And that's what it was. It just needed resetting. But I'm fine now, in case you were worried.
It's good to know. It's good to know we're on board. So yeah, just using those daubers for applying ink. It can be for blending with. I'll try and do a little bit more of a demo later on when we get time. But what I want to go on to from here now is to bring in that lovely statement piece again.
Yeah.
And we're going to go over the top of this now. Excuse me. And we're going to put a really nice solid black butterfly on the top there. So I'm going to bring my stamping platform back again, and because I want to do that over stamping again, I'm going to do the same technique that we've just done, but this time over the top of an inked background. Okay. And with black ink rather than colour. So again, just get the magnets on there to hold everything in place.
I must just ask you, whilst you're doing this, there's a question which came up earlier, which I know I'll forget to ask if I zoom past it.
No, that's fine.
You know, earlier on, you were using the anti-static bag.
Yes.
Sonia asks, Ben, please could you ask Jan, is it just baby powder in the anti-static bag, or at least would baby powder work?
Yes. To be honest, I'm not quite sure what is in the bag.
Right.
It's just some kind of powder. But if you haven't got one, baby talc works great. Things like cornstarch works great. It's just something to absorb any moisture that might be on that card. So I'm going to bring it in and do it again.
Yeah, good.
Although this is dry, I'm literally just going to pop it on. And when I tap it, there's little bits, it almost looks like talc inside it. I don't know what's actually, this is a bought one. I know some people make their own and put talc inside them, but it just wants to be something that would absorb any moisture. Okay. So if you're using things like a talc, just dot a bit on and brush it off with a soft brush. Yep. Yeah, does exactly the same job. Brilliant. So that one just lives in there. And then, as I say, we're going to do the same technique again. So again, I've got my dual ink set. So I've got Noir Black in the Quick Dry. This one's actually Jet Black in the Pigment, but they're both black at the end of the day. So I'm going to build up the colour with the Quick Dry and then put my sticky layer over the top and bring in my big tub of embossing powder again. Using that hubby. It does look like a big bowl of sugar, doesn't it? I don't know. I'll be sat there at home thinking, my goodness.
Funny enough, we just had a message from him saying...
Have you?
No.
Where's my teaspoon?
I can't have my cup of tea.
No, that's far too technical, Ben. When I message him, all I get is a thumbs up symbol. That's about it. That's as good as it gets, or an okay. That's it. Very rarely. If I get more than 3 words from him, I've done well.
That sounds like my son, right? I try and, like, my daughter messages me some lovely messages when I'm working. My son, I try and get him involved, and I'll get a thumbs up. Not even an okay, I just get K. Yep. Not an okay, yep. K.
He's a man of many words, my husband, bless him, yes. I send him all these messages. It's like I always let him know when I've got up here safely, having come up the motorway and what have you, and I just get thumbs up. just to let me know he's read the message, that's it. And I'm used to it now. It's like if he actually types a whole message out, I know he did it once, we have a family group to talk to the girls and that at home.
Yeah.
And he once actually put a whole sentence in there, and my youngest daughter put on, she went, whoa, pipe down, Dad.
Yeah. That's about 5 words.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Outdone himself. Yeah, it becomes a bit of a joke. Oh dear. Right, so I've just done a couple of layers of quick dry, and you can see how solid that black is. It's stunning against the coloured background, isn't it? And then I'm going to swap that out now and bring in my pigment one and literally load the stamp up with that sticky ink again, which are the ones that attract that embossing powder. And again, you know, if you haven't got the black inks, you could use the clear ink pad with this and black embossing powder. But as I say, the reasons I tend to use the clear is so that you don't get all those little speckles everywhere. It's very forgiving, the clear ink, the clear embossing powder.
Sharon's asking how long it takes for pigment ink to dry. She said, I made a card with it a year ago and it never seemed to dry.
It depends what surface you're working on.
Oh, okay.
If you're working on a porous surface like the stamping card, it will dry fairly quickly.
Yeah.
If you've got it on something like Centura Pearl or on an acetate, or something, I think I've just swallowed a fly, something like that, then I would just use the heat tool to set it. So all it needs is setting. So in that situation, if you've got it where it's not drying and it's still damp to touch, just if you've got a heat tool, nice and softly over the top just to set the ink, and then you'll be good to go. So that's put that sticky layer on then. So we'll bring that big bowl of embossing powder, and it's so much easier to actually use it in here than it is those little pots.
Yeah.
And again, that's just going to stick, and you can see, can you see how that's all sort of gone frosted now? It's lost the black look, hasn't it? Yeah. So you know that that's stuck to it there. That's all it needs. And this is going to last me a lifetime. It was a big pot, having said that, which is why I've put it in here. But you use, although you put it, you know, you pile it on and you think, oh my goodness, but most of it comes off again. So you use very, very little, and this literally is going to last me forever. So again, just to bring that heat tool in, biggest tip I can give you with your heat tools is to let them heat up. It's almost a little bit, the scenario I use is sort of like if you were going to cook tea in the oven, which I don't do very often, but if you were, you'd put your oven on and let it warm up before you put your food in. If you were going to start ironing, which I also don't do very often, you'd put the iron on, you'd let it warm up before you start ironing. So the same with your heat tool, let it warm up, and then I'm going to go from underneath again, purely so that you can watch it, because I think this is just a great technique to see. So once the heat's actually penetrated that cardstock, I'm up in this top corner again. Can you see, look?
Yeah, like magic.
Straight away. I just think it never gets old, this technique. We're going to do a lot of embossing. I've got some gold embossing coming up. I'm trying to think what else I've got coming up. And again, just chase it round. You don't need to hover over it for very long. Once it's gone glossy and shiny, move on to the next part. Yeah. If you continue heating it, you almost lose the effect because the embossing powder like flattens and dries out. So you don't get that lovely sort of textured finish on it. So just that little bit down in the corner. You see where it's still frosted in that? There we go, look. Absolutely stunning. Just look at that. I love it. I could sit and do this all day, honestly. So let's get you close up and see if we can get that sheen on it again. Are we ready? I'm catching them out, bless them. So if I move that now, let's see if we can... Look at that. Can you see that lovely glossy finish on the embossing?
That is awesome.
Perfect. Fantastic. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. Bless her. She's trying to keep up with me, aren't you?
I tell you what,
I'm going down flat again now.
I think it's Charlotte's second full day. Director Charlotte in the studio. Literally, it's like the Millennium Falcon in there. Literally, it's like the buttons like here. She's like this.
Bless
and then
her,
over here.
honestly.
Yeah, glad I'm doing the easy thing. But yeah, it's great, isn't it? We can get so close in and see all of these demos. It's almost sometimes I feel like we're sat on our crafters' shoulders, getting really in close and seeing exactly everything that they're doing. So back to the demo.
So once it's dry, I'm just going to take that that layer of anti-static dust off there because it can sometimes dull it a little bit. And then just very, very gently, because I don't want to damage that heat embossing.
Yes.
I'm just going to mat and layer now. And this one I'm going to do a what we call a bridge card, Ben.
All right.
Yeah, have you come across those?
I don't know.
A bridge card. Yeah.
No.
So this is going to be my back piece in here. This is the focal point on the card. So we've got that lovely background, sort of, you can just pick it out in the background. And then we're going to pop that into the back of my card here.
Okay.
All right.
Just a quick one, whilst we're concentrating on the butterfly, Joan Louise has just said, could Jan please recap the ink she used on that butterfly again?
I can. I will do that by all means.
Okay.
Yep. So we started off, and again, this is just my, you know, my own sort of way of doing it, my technique. You know, some of the other craft experts might just go for one of the inks, but I just like to build up that depth of colour.
Yeah.
So on the background, are we talking about the background or the butterfly?
On the butterfly.
I'll do both for you. Yeah, the background's actually made up of pigment inks, and we've got the lightest of the yellow ones, which was straw bale. I've got the turquoise one, which is the Oasis. Yeah. And then I had, oh, this is one of my favourites, the, just trying to think of the colour, the green one. No, not citrus.
Not,
it's spring green. It's Spring Meadow.
Spring Meadow.
Spring Meadow, that's it. So those are the three on the background, and then I've overstamped it with a quick dry Spring Meadow. Now, I know I'm flicking from one ink to the other, but you do, if you've got them all at home, it's worth having a play with them because you do get different reactions. So can you see how, even though we've got the Spring Meadow in the background, the quick dry ink's actually a little bit more depth of colour? Yeah. So where I've stamped over the background here, it's the same colour as one of the background pieces to keep it all tone on tone, but it's just that little bit more depth of colour on the quick dry. It's a dye-based ink, so you're getting a bit more depth. And then the black, I simply started at any of the black ink pads. I have actually picked up two different blacks, if there is such a thing. But yeah, I've got the quick dry was the noir black. Yep. And then the pigment is jet black. We do jet black in the quick dry, it's just that I'd grabbed this one out of my drawer and picked up the other one. So both just a really dark black. And again, that same technique, a couple of layers of the quick dry just to build up that depth of colour, and then your sticky one on top, which is your pigment ink, to attract that embossing powder. All right, if you didn't want the embossing powder on, you can stay with the pigments and just layer theirs up. And like, I'm sorry, I'm not very good with names. The lady that's just asked us, Ben.
Joan Louise.
Just to let it dry, again, just sort of very gently with your heat tool, just to what we call set the ink. And then once it's dry, you're good to go with the rest of it. So I have created a couple of little panels for my sides there. So we're just going to stick those on as well. It's just assembly now, really.
This is the bridge card, isn't it?
This is the bridge, yeah. We'll show you the bridge coming in a second. So we're just going to pop these on the side here. And you might, I've just decorated it with a couple of little black embellishments. You might think, well, what are they doing up there? But I'll show you why I've put them up there in a second. All right, so let's just stick these on. And then the bridge comes in. The bridge is going to go right across the front. Oh. Okay, so it's going to literally bridge one side to the other, like so. All right, so I've just laid up some bits that I'd got, some scrap turquoise, which is from our 12 by 12 textured card pads, and a couple of bits of ribbon that I'd got in my stash, a turquoise and a lemon ribbon, just to keep in with the colour theme. And we're literally going to stick that. Yeah. I think I'll go with wet ink on here.
It reminds me more of a stage than a bridge.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah,
like
it is, could be. Yeah,
so when you
stand it up, if I show you on the overhead, you can see you get that shape there, look.
It's like a stage.
Yeah, it does look maybe theatre style, yeah.
I can't call it a stage card. I don't know if I can rename
So you only
cards,
want to stick it on these two sides. So I'm going to use a little bit of wet glue because I want a nice, good adhesion on there, and the same, which is why I put those two little gems a wee bit higher up so that they miss the, I think I need to fill my my little applicator. We'll do that between shows, and then literally we're going to pop this. This has been cut to the length of the card without the two side pieces in. Yeah. So I've got this width plus the width of the outside is the length of the bridge, and literally that lines up with this edge here, forms a right angle with the fold here. Just going to hold that in place for that tacky ink to grab, and then literally lines up with the other side and folds that 90 degrees on this angle here. So again, just to hold it in place for a second until that tacky ink grabs, tacky glue grabs onto there. And then you've got that lovely sort of setting there. So we've got our focal point in there. And then again, in here, we've got You are always in my thoughts.
Aww.
And I just thought, like Ben was saying earlier, for this type of, you know, the state we're in at the moment with all the virus and everything, you know, you might just want to send a card to somebody just to say that you're thinking about them.
Yeah.
Particularly, I know we've got sort of, you know, older neighbours that live alone, or you might have an older relative that's living alone. It's a tough time. Well, not even older. I know there's lots of younger people living on you know, at home. So I've just popped a bit of red line tape on the back of there because I'm sticking it to the ribbon. And I've just popped it in the middle there. We're going to put that one on there like so. And stick that on there. And then we've all got butterflies in our stash. So I've literally just created a little butterfly out of some of the scrap turquoise card. I don't know what's going off in my ear. They're having a right old laugh.
No, did you not hear them just then?
No, I missed that one.
Bizarrely, we all just heard some seagulls. So I sort of looked up at the guys in the gallery, Johnny, and like, did you see seagulls?
Do you know, it always amazes me when I come up here and I hear seagulls.
And me too.
You tend to associate them with the coastline, don't you?
You got the wrong way, seagulls. What are you doing here?
And then just to finish it off, just to get a little tiny bit, sort of funky here, I'm just going to run a tiny bead of hot glue down the centre of the butterfly, just there. And then I've got, this is just out of my stash. It's actually a key, a little metal key, which was brass. I've just coloured it with one of my alcohol markers because I wanted it back. And we're going to have that as the centre of the butterfly there. All right, so that's my finished card. I'm gonna swizz it round. Are you ready?
There we go. Get ready, Charlotte.
Let's pop it on there. Bless her. There we go. Look, fabulous. So that's my bridge style. You can just see into that card there at the back. Or theatre style. We could have just renamed it.
I think.
Yeah.
I think we should. Listen, I've got some questions. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I've got some questions I'll fire to Jan in just a second because I want to make sure I don't miss those. But don't forget, we're asking for you, which is your favourite demo? You can vote now or vote a little bit later on. So we've got the heart, which you saw later on. We'll recap on all of these. Or that beautiful butterfly theatre card. Stage card, whatever you want to call it. So get voting for your faves. Loads of lovely comments coming in. Marilyn saying, we love Jan. We know we're going to learn and be inspired with a smile. Marilyn says, Dapper Ben, we like you too. Always looking so sharp every shot. We didn't need to say that, but that's very kind. Jan says, Bobby, your demonstrations are so interesting and easy to understand. Hope to see you more often this year.
Oh, bless.
And Sonia's saying, I have all my ink stored on those black storage trays. We'll come back to those in a second. I love them. I store my markers on the marker storage trays. Love them. So 4 quick fire questions then, because producer John is telling me to crack on here. But the questions are, so Sharon says, no, we've done that one. Christine says, I used the powder cloth on black paper, didn't work. It was really chalky. What do you use on black cardstock?
You can use just the same, all right? The secret is when you're finished and you know that your embossing is dry, is just a soft cloth and buff it. And it will take off that residue of the powder from the card and expose that lovely, nice, glossy embossing that you've done.
Okay.
All right. It does sometimes leave it's what we call like a bloom. Sometimes happens with the embossing powder as well. The coloured embossing powder.
Jan's mic's just gone, I'm being told. I think, yeah, your mic's gone. I think it must be the seagulls. We'll come back to those questions in just a second, but basically there's a lot of love. Beautiful card, says Mary. Pat Teresa says, loving all these tips. And thank you, says Joan Louise. Jan, we learned so much from you. You make it so understandable. Votes coming in for those favourite cards as well. But the point of the matter here is you can go for this brand new collection. Over 15% of the stock has gone, allowing you to make some amazing projects. Like, for example, home decor pieces. Like, for example, beautiful boxes as well. Love this. This is your blossoming floral, which we saw a little bit earlier on. This one, of course, comes with the thank you so much, you are wonderful and you make me smile sentiments. This is still my fave. Hoping to see this a little bit later.
Oh, it's coming up next.
Oh, yes, I shall be looking forward to that. That is your shining star. It's your time to shine. Believe you can, and you're halfway there, and you are amazing. Just love there's so many different ways to be able to use these. Again, take a look at this. that gorgeous butterfly done in a slightly different way. I'm sure you will have loads of ideas yourself. You're probably getting inspired right now and you're thinking to yourself, oh, I've bought mine, I've got mine, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Funny enough, talking about your bridge cards or your stage cards, you've got another one there, look, using that gorgeous heart. £28 or $35 for that full collection, 16 elements in total. Let's just quickly come back to you with those questions then, so I don't forget, and then we'll recap on some of the other deals. So, Lorraine. So Lorraine says, I've tried matte and layering and find the card I put underneath ends up not showing and being the same size as the top card. So how do you get the underneath card slightly bigger?
For the mats and layers, do you know one of the best products, and if you've got it at home, this is a brilliant one to help you out with. If you've got our guillotine at home,
yep.
This is actually, a lot of guillotines have got your measurements on, but I love the way this has been designed. You know, our Leanne thinks of absolutely everything when she's designing, but the 1/4 inch increments on here are really, really visible. So for example, if you was to put your card in, this one measures, we've got 6 inches there. So if I did my back mat, my bottom layer at 6 inches square, when I'm working in inches, I tend to leave a 1/4 inch increment, and each one of these lines just happens to be a 1/4 inch. So by just bringing it into the next line, but you need to remember to take it off 2 sides to make it that 1/4 inch smaller, okay? If you're working in centimetres, I normally leave a 1/2 centimetre, but that's not set in stone. You know, sometimes I like to offset my mats and layers, so I might have a larger gap around the background and a narrower layer inside, just to sort of draw the eye into where you want it to go. But in general, just come down in 1/4 inch increments. But I think the secret is to remember to take it off one side and then turn it 90 degrees and take that same 1/4 inch off the other side. All right, I used to get stuck with this when I first started crafting. And again, you know, you can go down as many layers. You don't have to just use 2 mats and layers. You can. I know our Craig likes to do a set of 3 when he's matting and layering. There's no rules as to what's right and what's wrong. It's whatever pleases you or what you think will please the person that you're making the card for at the end of the day.
Brilliant. 2 quick ones then. Gilmore says, are the pigment inks water soluble or do they permanently stain the stamps?
They will stain, but if I just show you, that's a very good point actually, if I just show you the difference, because the black one that I've just used has come up, if I show you this on that white card, I've just cleaned this with a wet wipe or with a wipe and some water, but look at that one. There's barely any discoloration on there. Yeah. And then if I show you the red one, it's obviously something in the red ink, the red pigment. It tends to be the reds and the pinks. You can see how that one's actually stained that little bit. Doesn't damage the stamps at all. It's only the actual sort of what they look like. But I just literally used a wet baby wipe, wiped them all across, and then dried them off with my dry cloth and literally put them back onto their carrier sheets. The fact that this is actually just slightly stained won't alter it. It won't show, it doesn't come off, it's not still wet. You won't have any of that colour, you know, whatever colour you've used won't come off on the next one. The other colour will go over the top of it. So it's just something that happens with pigment ink, that's all. Brilliant. And finally for now, Amy just saying, so lovely, obviously referring to the demos, what kind of embossing powder do you use? The clear one that I've got, I think was a Cosmic Shimmer one. Was it? Yeah, I think so. If I remember rightly, I've had it a long, long time. Yeah. I believe so. But you want a detailed embossing powder. Lots of companies make them. I know our Chloe does some great embossing powders. Tonic do some nice embossing powders. It's not something that we actually manufacture, so we tend to use other brands. Okay. But yeah, there's some nice ones out there. But if you've got like a fine detail one rather than a chunky one, I find that you get a nicer finish on those. Brilliant. Yep. Lovely. Thank you so much, Jan. All your questions answered. If you've got any more, get those in on Facebook and on YouTube as well, and we will fire those across to Jan over the course of the show. That's what we're here for. We're here to inspire, give you loads of demos, have a bit of fun, and also get those questions answered as well. Loads of votes coming in, by the way, for your favourite cards. We'll look at that in just a few moments' time. And of course, crown the winner just before 3 o'clock. These are proving really popular as well. The metallic pigment ink pads, they're amazing, aren't they? And the fact is, you've got the full collection available here. All 12 colours of these gorgeous pigment inks with that metallic pigment. So you've got your rose gold in there. Then you've got that gorgeous, gorgeous blush.
you've got your platinum, then you've got gold, and you've got your amethyst, but that is not all. Then, in the full collection, you've got the jade green. You can see there as well, looks gorgeous, isn't it? Absolutely gorgeous. And like Jan was saying, these are going to last you such a long time. Red garnet, then you've got your bronze, your pink lace, your rose satin, there's that gorgeous blue organza, and then finally is that wonderful silver. 12-piece collection, should be £60, over $95, £47 today, or $76. Of course, take off your 20% as a platinum member, $37.60 or $60.80.
Sorry to put in, Ben, but just another quick tip with the metallic ones. They're great for using what I call direct to paper, so using your metallic ink over when you've done an embossing folder. So, you know, if you've put something through an embossing folder, you've got the raised part, just lightly with the metallic over the top of it, and it brings up that raised image, a little bit like when you're using gilding wax, but you've got all those beautiful colours to play with, whereas the gilding wax are much more the metal colours. But yeah, just softly over the top of it, it captures the embossed part of the cardstock beautifully.
Brilliant tips all the way here, and lots more demos to come. Those opaque inks as well, proving really, really popular. Again, just to run you through all of the colours, definitely if you have just joined us, make sure you scroll back and have a look at the demos that you've already seen or not seen using these. £47 or 76. Oh, no, that's the previous details. We'll get those up for you. But basically, 13-piece collection. This one, isn't it? Yeah, £50 or $70 for these beautiful opaque ink pads. So you've got the, I can't read it upside down. What does that say? Parakeet. There we go. You've got your ocean blue in there. Then you've got that gorgeous oasis. Some lovely colours here. That noir black. Then you've got the honey pot, which I know is always a favourite here. You've got the gorgeous sandstorm. And then look at that, if you want to pop a colour with the fuchsia. Even more, of course, as well. There's your pale fig. You've got your damson wine. Just knocking it all over. That's the first time this year, I think. Your pink tulip. You've got your plum jam. Your gorgeous crushed velvet. And then the straw bale is included as well. So it's a 13-piece essentials collection for £50, $70, less your 20%. Comes down to £40 or $56 for that whole collection. And of course, if you're going for all of these, you don't want to be knocking them over like I just did. Handily, you think we just throw these shows together. Handily, we've got some storage for you as well. Yes, and the great thing about this is it is buy one,
you get one free. You forgot to press me on button then, didn't you?
Yeah, you buy one, you get one free. And these are great because it's a great way to get your craft room in order, great way to make sure that your pads are stored correctly, and this will hold 18 ink pads. All right, so you get the two, it's 36, isn't it? Which is brilliant. $16.99 or $24.95, half price. But in other words, you buy one,
you get one free.
Yeah,
I think that is a fantastic. I might have to get some of those myself, Ben. That is a fantastic offer.
Yeah, well, you have to hurry because they are flying out the door. These are uber popular, really popular. So grab those whilst we have them still available. And of course, the stamps proving so popular, over 15% of the stock of these stamps. In fact, scratch that, 20% of the stock has now gone. Brand new launch, and I know we had a lot of stock. With it being a launch day, we want to make sure that everybody can get their hands on this deal. So the fact that 20% has gone inside, what, an hour and 10 minutes, shows how busy we are. Get yours whilst you can, because they're flying out the door. Let's get back, and I'm looking forward to this next demo particularly. I'm not allowed to vote for my favourite demo, but I think this could be my favourite because it's my favourite stamp in the collection, this beautiful star.
It is. We're going to use the Shining Star next, and I just love, well, I love all of them. You know, if it's a stamp, Just, you know, I'm sold as it to start off with. So literally in this one again, you've got that beautiful sort of focal star shape there, which is what we're going to use our main image for. And then again, lovely sentiments. They really are. They've been thought of nice. It's Your Time to Shine, which is the one that I've used for the card. Now I've just changed this up a little bit, which is why I was not turned on when I should have been when Ben was doing his bog off.
Did me what?
You bog off.
Oh, bog off.
Yeah, you
Yes.
bog off. Have you not heard that before?
No, I have. I just wondered what. You just couldn't quite catch what someone said.
So yeah, I've just thought actually I'll show you a different technique with this. All right, so I'm literally going to stamp this one out using our watermark ink pad, and I was going to actually do the same with the anti-static pad, the translucent ink, and the white embossing powder, but I have actually got that done. I'm conscious that we've just done 2 embossing demos, but I wanted to show you something else. The reason this is called watermark, all right, so this one is just a clear sticky ink. All right, really sticky, that is intended for embossing powder. Now, if I use this with clear embossing powder, you would just get a clear image, which looks great on things like black card and stuff like that. It's also great for attracting the embossing powder again. So if you like using coloured embossing powders, like we're going to use a gold one later on, I will use the clear sticky ink to add the gold powder. But this time, I'm literally just going to use the pad itself. So all I've done is position my star in the centre of my piece of cardstock, and we're using craft card this time, another one of my favourites, Ben. I'm not sort of totally fulfilled if I haven't used a bit of craft card in my demos. I absolutely love it.
Much underrated, isn't it, I think?
Oh, I just think it's great.
Yeah.
And it's quite absorbent as well. So with your ink techniques, you can get some really nice designs. You know, your pigment inks work great on here, but then think about, you know, you're going to get a slightly different hue to them because you've got that brown underneath rather than white. You know, so just, it's like I say, play around with your inks. When you've got a few minutes spare, just have a play and see what they can do.
Bottom of your screen is the deal on the cardstock, which I was just mentioning about, which is on the website. Any 4 for 30 or 42. So bottom of your screen there, and as I said, the craft cardstock that you see on your screen now is part of that deal. So do get involved. Nice time to be stocking up on all of these bits and pieces. Had the deal earlier on, didn't we? Of course, on the tape pens, cardstock. Get them whilst the deals are there, is what I would say. So you're kind of setting yourself up for the crafting year ahead.
So all I'm doing is going to stamp that clear ink down onto my card. So I'm going to do it a couple of times again just to build up the depth. But what you're going to get is like a watermark. So whatever colour cardstock you stamp on, you're going to get a slightly darker version of that card. So if you did it on pink, you get a slightly darker pink, yellow, slightly darker yellow. This one, because it's craft card, I'm just going to get a slightly darker image. You see there?
Oh yeah.
And we can just leave it like that. So for my base layer, for what I want to do for the card, I'm just going to do this. And I'm going to build it up just by doing another layer. And I like to sort of, it's like an insurance policy, because if you have missed a little tiny bit, instead of wasting your card and starting all over again, just by lining it up with this, you know, you can ensure that you're going to get it covered next time. So if I'd missed a bit here, just need to give a little extra push on that bit. And it just fills in the gaps. It's as if it's by magic. And then what I'm going to do, we'll take it off there. And then I'm literally going to just go over it with my heat tool because I want that to dry. Normally this stays sticky until you put something on it. So ideally I would have been putting white embossing powder onto it to make it white. But I've actually decided now that I'm going to keep this one just as a watermark.
Okay.
So I'm just going to heat it gently because I want it to dry now. And again, this is the same with any inks. The lady that asked earlier about the pigment inks not drying, just set the ink with your heat tool just to make sure that it's dry, and then that should be it. That's all it needs on there. So this is going to be my background panel. And then I'll bring in, I just happen to have in my stash at home, a set of star dies. And look at this, it was as if it was by magic.
Almost as if it was meant to be.
Just look at that.
Yeah.
And this isn't actually, don't tell anybody, it's contraband. It's not a crafter's die.
Ooh.
It was just one that I had in my stash, and I thought, look at that.
I can see security coming down the corridor, Jan, you're in trouble now.
You didn't hear that bitch, don't tell anybody. But look at that, it fits perfectly. So what I did earlier was actually do exactly the same with the white embossing powder, and I've cut it out with the star die.
Perfect.
So again, the ones that we've just done, we stamped onto cardstock and left those beautiful designs in the cardstock. This time I've actually taken it and cut that layer out. So So what I want to do then is actually twist this so that we get some of that neutral one underneath showing on here.
Great.
Okay, so I had actually layered it up and matted and layered this one. But as I say, I changed my mind halfway through. So I'm just going to take those gems off here and literally stick the other one on top. So let me just lose them for a second, and then I'm going to pop this one straight over the top of the bit that I've matted and layered. And again, the plain cards that I'm using is from our textured 12 by 12 card pads. I'm in love with those. They've got every colour that you could need with those.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, now then, that's a wee bit bigger than that, isn't it? Let me just chop a bit off there then.
Hey, well, this is good though, because this comes back to what, who was it who was asking earlier on about not being able to mat and layer properly. So this again shows you it can happen. It can happen, but it's quite easy to rectify.
Now it's going to stick now because I've got the glue on it. But basically, I want that to be a 1/4 of an inch smaller. So literally, I'm going to take 1/8 of an inch off each side. All right. Now normally I'd said take it down 1/4 of an inch each way. But because I've stamped the star in the centre, I want to take an equal amount off each side. Whoops. So yeah, we're going to there. And then the same off that one to there. And that should now fit over the top of this one, okay? So let's just pop that on there now. That's brilliant. Yep.
Fantastic.
Just to cut it down, and then it shows that that blue layer around it. We'll pop the gems back on afterwards.
Cool.
Okay, so I'll just get rid of those bits. And then again, love this. My producers are going to love this. I didn't tell him about this bit. All right, are you ready? Okay, the worst thing ever on screen. I'll bring my cardstock with it. We've got some acetate on the show as well. Yeah, it's like if I put it on here, it's like, where's it gone? Oh, it's not too bad, look, it's not too bad there.
It's like a shadow.
But usually it just disappears, it's like, where's it gone? So yeah, all I've done is taken a piece of acetate from the pack that's on the show, cut it down to size, and we're looking at 5 3/4 inches square, and then I've literally scored it on my score tool, folded it in half, and this is going to be my card base. So we're actually going to build this up on here. So I've got some tape on the back of this one, and then I'll show you a little trick for disguising this, because first time I did this in a class that I was teaching, they said, yeah, but you can see through it, Jan, you can see all the sticky on the back.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Which you can. All right, so what I've done for that then is cut another piece exactly the same size as what we've got in here, and I'm literally going to open it up, and because the turquoise is double-sided, I'm going to stick this one on the inside to cover the gubbins, all the glue and the sticky tape.
That's a great word.
Yeah, the gubbins. It's a good old Yorkshire word. Cover all the gubbins, the workings.
Gubbins.
All right, so we've got the tape on there at the ready. Whoops, it's not coming off. Come away, let's try that side. There we go, look, it's been stubborn. And I'm literally going to cover so you can't see, because this doesn't look very attractive. So let's pop that one just to show that little border all the way around again. All right. If it was not a double-sided cardstock, the turquoise, I would have just cut another piece of turquoise as well and matted and layered it on the inside. And then on the inside of my card, I've literally put that "It's Your Time to Shine." So I've done that in the white embossing powder to match the front piece that we're going to do. And then the same again. So let's just get that bit centered the best we can. Just going to do it by eye in the middle of there. And then again, I've used some of our nesting dies just to get that lovely little stitched edge there. I'm going to flip it over on the back and pop that one on the back there. Now again, you know, depending, people say to me, well, where are you going to write? Now it depends how much you've got to write. You could just put a to and a from on here. If not, then you could do it on the back of that inside piece. So you could actually put your message on here. Yeah?
Yeah.
So that's our card base, and then the one that I've actually done and prepped at home with the white. So this was the same technique that you've just seen me do. So we got this far with the sticky ink, but instead of drying it, I added some white detail embossing powder to it and then heat set it just like we did in the other two demos. I just thought, you've seen me do that twice now, so we'll just change it up a little bit. So that one's going to go just offset so that we can see that watermark one through the middle.
Oh yeah.
And literally just stick that one over the top there. So I'll leave it on the white so that we can see it a bit better there. But you've got that lovely acetate surround on it. It almost looks as if it's floating.
Yeah.
It does stand up on its own, look. Okay, and then inside you've got that lovely sentiment.
That's so cool.
All the gubbins, Ben.
Aye.
All the gubbins is all
gubbins.
disguised. Look, there's no glue showing on the back. Okay? And that's your star for you.
Great. I love that. Brilliant hints and tips. What a great card, and brilliant to show you how to hide all your gubbins as well.
Gubbins.
I'm sure there's another word for that, but gubbins, what a brilliant word. Loads of lovely messages coming in. Lots of you voting for your favourite card of the show so far. I would say the butterfly is in the lead up to this point.
Yeah.
But are you now favouring the star? Let us know in the comments. Is it the heart? Is it the butterfly? Or is it that star that's your favourite? Remember, our winning card will be popped on our Crafty Walk of Fame, ready for one of our crafters to be crowned the winner on Sunday. I can only imagine how competitive this is going to get over the weeks and months to come. Fiona is the current champion. Lots of lovely messages coming in, as I say. Ayesha saying, great tips. Grab this collection and love that there are a few options in pink, purple, blue and yellow. Great combo relating to the inks, of course. And Beth saying, had to get the heart of the butterfly, couldn't resist them. Don't forget as well, if you want to send any pictures of any projects you've made recently, you can do studio@crafterscompanion.co.uk. I already know what I'm going to be asking you to email me tomorrow, because I was just scouting through the national days, as we always do. Today is National Rubber Ducky Day. I mean, I don't want no pictures, thanks. No pictures. But tomorrow is National Dress Up Your Pet Day. Oh. So you know what we're going to be asking for pictures of tomorrow. Tomorrow, Charlotte, you are just non-stop. There's going to be about 500 pictures, as well as controlling the Starship Enterprise. She's going to be getting your pictures up on the screen as well. Dress Up Your Pet Day tomorrow. You know.
Oh my goodness.
That is going to go crazy. Right, let's just quickly show you some nesting dies that we've got on the show. Because we've got a brilliant deal, and also the kind of thing that would work very nicely indeed with this collection, and just a great thing to have in your crafty stash as well, isn't it, for kind of providing depth and dimension to your project, for providing these kind of mats and layers as well. This is super handy. Deal is amazing. So you're going to get with this a 46-piece collection, which is going to give you your stitch edge circle. So again, super shape for all of those projects. And what we love about this as well, I don't know if you can quite pick it up, probably not, it has got a beautiful sort of stitched edge design around the outside. There you go. And you have got beautiful circles here. Size-wise, we are at 4.5 by 4.5 down to 0.7. So you've got real kind of different depth and dimension with these, and I love that stitch detailing that you've got around the outside of your circle. Then also in your collection, same with the ovals, again you've got that beautiful stitch detailing around the side of your oval, and size wise you've got 11 dies within this collection. 4 by 6 down to 0.6 by 0.9. Again, look at that little diddy one there. But again, talk about wanting like a base component for your cards, for your projects. You have got it beautiful to kind of frame all of your projects, and like we said, great to use in conjunction with your brand new stamps as well. This scalloped edge oval also comes with the collection. Again, with this you're going to get 8 different size dies, 3.9 by 5.9 down to your smallest one, which is 1.4 by 2.1 inches. And then last but by no means least, remember this is all together, you're getting that gorgeous scalloped edge circle as well. So you've kind of got some like fancy shaped nesting dies along with some of the shaped with that stitching detail in the side. Super handy to have, super handy to build up, I think, in any crafting stash as well. That is £42 today, $55. So you're already saving almost £20, over $25, and another 20% comes off that, of course, as well. If you're a platinum member, $33.60 is the deal on that, or $44. The finger daubers. So much stuff down here. Hang on. There's me telling you to get your craft room sorted. Mine is an absolute mess. It's a good job there's not a camera down there. Right, yes, these finger daubers. Again, we've seen how super handy these are, and I got you the deal that you wanted. Yes, the £19.50. This is, I like this, Ben's deal. Back at the price that we had them last week, $19.50, $26. So you're getting 40 finger daubers within that collection. Love that you've got that. So pretty much one for each and every different colour, and the fact that you've got the little storage kit with it as well means that you can keep everything handy. So today you've got the finger daubers with the storage tray for $19.50 or $26. You've got a choice of different ink pads as well, and of course on the show we've got the storage for the ink pads as well. So if it was a New Year's resolution to get sorted as far as your craft room is concerned and make sure everything is in its own little place, then this is the show for you today. But that is a super buy, $19.50 or $26 for that. And then of course the star of the show. Wow, cannot believe this. What are we? 35 minutes remaining. A quarter of the whole stock has gone inside an hour and a half. And when I say to you, once this goes, not going to be getting it back to like June, July time. Get yours now whilst you can. They're supposed to be making another appearance on Second Chance Sunday, but the rate this is going, I doubt they'll be here. £28, $35 today. I'll show you once again the actual stamps themselves, and then maybe we can, when we go back to the Jan, maybe just recap on the 3 demos that Jan's done so far, show the cards, and then you can kind of get voting on your favourites as well. But in essence, you are going to get some absolutely gorgeous images here, and you've seen how versatile, how usable they are as a focal point for all of your cards. I just love these. They're nice big size stamps, photo polymer of course, don't forget, and I love the fact that you've got the beautiful detailing within the shape of the stamp itself. So you've got that gorgeous butterfly there, this perfect butterfly. They all come with their own little sentiments as well. So you are always in my thoughts, wishing you happiness, and life isn't perfect, but does have perfect moments. I just think those 3 stamps are absolutely perfect for sending a just because card at the moment. I think kind of sums things up nicely actually. Next up, you saw this, I love this demo right at the start of the show, the first demo that Jan did, which we'll show you again in just a few moments time, this gorgeous heart. The fact that you've got the flowers within the heart, and as Jan was talking about, the fact that you've got the ability with these stamps as well to be able to fussy cut to cut into them as well, as we'll see on the card that Jan made just a few moments ago, cut out part of the stamp and then attached it back onto here, so you had that flower kind of popping out of the heart, which was amazing. Have a beautiful day. Friendship is a flower that blooms in all seasons, and you are blooming fabulous is your other sentiment that you get with the heart. Next up, well, this is gorgeous, your blossoming floral. Again, someone was saying earlier on, I think I might have touched on this as well, sort of very flower powery, isn't it? Sort of 1960s and 70s. Yeah, real retro feel. Yeah, love that. You make me smile. Thank you so much, and you are wonderful. As I say, these sentiments are beautifully themed, and they just during this current time, they're brilliant. I just think they're great. For those of you who are making cards, like Jan was saying, you know what, if you've got neighbours who are struggling just a little bit, friends and family members, you know, who are struggling to get by, just making them a little card. It's so nice, isn't it, when the post arrives and it's not bills or junk mail, just to see like a beautiful card just coming through just because you're thinking of somebody. I think this is a gorgeous time to start making those cards. And this, again, as I've already said, is my favourite stamp in the collection, that amazing star. I mean, how great is that? The sentiments, again, absolutely perfect. It is your time to shine. You're amazing. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. Great. Love it. £28, $35. You're saving off the price it should be. It's a launch day, but we're already knocking the price down. I never get that, but there you go. I'm not in charge. I'm not in charge. But it's true, isn't it? You think about, like, think about a phone, for example. The launch of the brand new phone, they never knock off a few quid there, do they? They're selling you full price. Of course they do, but we don't do that because we love you. £28, $35, less your 20% or wherever you are in Club Inspire. You can take more off that if you're platinum, $22.40 or $28. Take advantage of this deal. It's been a brilliant launch day, but let's recap on the cards that Jan has made so far. So take us right back to the start of the show, Jan. You showed us the heart first of all, didn't you?
Yes. I'm going to go back to that blooming heart, which was the very first one. So I put these on the overhead so that you can see them. So we've got that lovely set there with the heart in. And then that was the first card that I did with those. So we just got that little border for you to write your sentiment inside. And then that embossed, if I just tilt it a little bit. Yeah, you can see it there, look, just glinting there with that lovely embossing powder. So that was number 1. And then we brought in the perfect butterfly. That was the second one, and we did that lovely bridge card there, or theatre card as we've renamed it.
Yeah.
And then we've put that lovely embossing, just the black over the coloured pigment inks there, just to makes it really striking on that one. You're always in my thoughts. So that was the second one. And then the third one was the star. So we've got the shining star there, and we've just made that lovely acetate design with the watermark in the back and then the white embossing powder in the front there. So that was 3 so far. And then the one that's left is the flower. So we're going to go on to that one next. And it's funny you should say retro, Ben, because I've gone very psychedelic with my demo for this one.
Oh, love it.
So we're obviously on the same kind of thoughts there.
Absolutely.
So we've got blossoming floral, and you can see here again we've got that lovely size of stamp there for you, and again all those little flowers in there so that you've got space to fussy cut if you wish. So what I'm going to do with this one then, I'm going to swap this up slightly. So I still need my stamping platform. I've used this all the way through just to build up those layers, and I'm going to do the same with this one. Now the technique that I'm going to do now, you can do with any of your ink pads. So you could do it with the pigment inks that are on the show. If you've got the water reactive or the quick dry, it could be the metallic inks, any of them will work, but I'm going to swap it up a bit because I want to show you other things that you can use on your stamps. So what I'm actually going to bring in is some of my Aqua Markers, and I know a lot of you guys have got these out there, so I've actually picked out a rainbow set of Aqua Markers here. So I've got yellow, orange, red, and then I went into green and then into blue. All right, and I'm actually going to do these direct to the stamp and stamp with those. So because they're a water marker, I'm also just going to bring in my water spritz. So this is just plain tap water in here out of the sink. And then also, I was just going to say something else for you. What else was I going to say? It'll come back to me in a second. It's gone, fluttered away. But yeah, if you were going to use your inks, the daubers would come in great for this because you can use these to actually apply the ink to the stamp. Because what I'm going to do this time is apply different colours to one stamp in the same go. So we're not going to stamp the yellow first and then the orange, we're going to do it all together. So by using your inks, if you've got your little finger daubers, you can be very accurate as to where you put the inks on the stamp itself. So let me show you what I mean. So let's just move those to one side. These are water reactive, okay. So I've got again a piece of stamping card. I need the stamp. And again, you can see where I've been using this one at home. The red colours, even with the markers, you can see, look, where it's just coloured. Oh, that's what I was going to show you. So come back to me. It's me. I blame it on my age. For anybody that's interested, that was the set of the Aqua Markers. So the yellow was sunflower, the orange is sunset, the red one was scarlet, bud green, and teal for that turquoise blue. So anybody that wants to actually to copy the technique, those are the colours. You can always go back to the video, you can screenshot it, you've got it there to have a look at. So I just wrote those down for you.
You say you talk
I said, just blame it all on my age, Ben.
It just reminded me, you say you talk about doing things. You ever do that thing where you sort of walk into a room and you don't understand why you've gone into the room you can't remember? For some reason, this isn't to, well, it's sort of to do that. This morning, in a bit of a panic to get out of the house, couldn't find my car keys. For some reason last night, I put them in the fridge.
Of course.
I mean, why?
Where else would you keep them overnight?
Explain. Do you ever do that though? Just random.
Burglars would never think to look in the fridge for them, would they?
No, thankfully I was obviously making myself a bit of coffee and it was there. But yeah, great idea, Ben. Put them in the fridge because yeah, your burglars will never go in there. Yeah, just random.
When I was actually prepping these the other day, I lost one of the stamps off this set. I was doing this prep, and I think it was this stamp that I'd lost here.
It wasn't in my fridge or my car keys, was it?
And do you know, it was actually, I had to literally retrace my steps all the way through the things that I'd done, and it was stuck inside the lid of one of my ink pads, purely by thinking, right, well, I did this. Literally, is it stuck under here? Is it attached to this? Is it stuck to it? No. I used some ink. Yeah. No, it's not under there. It's not on there. Just by chance, I had, and it was stuck inside the actual, I would have never found it in a million years. So yeah, so what we're going to do now then, I've literally positioned my stamp. I want it to go to the bottom right of my piece of stamping card here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my set of pens and literally the brush tip on the Aqua Markers, I'm going to go straight onto the actual stamp. So because it's photopolymer, you know, we're not going to damage any of this, and literally just paint it on with that brush tip. All right, so I'm going to do each petal a slightly different colour. So we're going to go on to the orange, bring it round, and don't worry about it drying because we're going to spritz it slightly with the water to reactivate it.
Okay.
And then onto the red, and then I'll show you what I've been playing with at home because I've actually created a background for this.
These markers, by the way, producer Johnny was saying on a good deal from Colour Me Happy on Friday. That deal is still live. So if you want to have a look on the web, backtrack and watch that show, you'll be able to see some more demos and actually get hold of that deal as well. Colour Me Happy from Friday just gone, so do have a look. Remember, you can see all of our shows via our YouTube page. Lots of people talk about how they bookmark the shows as well, which I think is super handy. So
save them.
Yeah, a particular thing that you're interested in or you're getting into and you want lots of hints, tips and tuition, there's plenty to be found right there. But yeah, these pens on a great deal from Friday's Colour Me Happy, so do have a look. That's pretty.
Right, so 6 petals but 5 colours because I've picked a little bit of the red up. We've got sort of a darker blue, almost a purpley tone here. So what I'm going to do now then is just very, very gently, and I'm not going to spray it onto my stamp, I'm going to spray it above it so that it lands on the stamp. I just want a very, very light mist on there.
Right.
And then literally pop it down and let that ink to transfer. Now, as I say, you could do this with any of your inks. You could even mix the metallic inks up that we've got on the show. That would look terrific on a piece of darker cardstock. But this is going to create me that coloured image just by using the pen. So when we lift this off here now, just gently, whoops, can you see how we've got that built up on there? Yep. And then when I bring in the one that I did, this is for the inside of the card. I'm just going to leave that on there for a second. And just by repeating that technique over and over again, this is where the psychedelic comes in.
Brilliant, yeah.
So you can see I've stamped once, and then I've literally coloured it up and turned the stamp. I've coloured it up, done it again, kept doing it. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 goes at it, just using the same technique and filling the whole area. This is actually going to be my background for the front of the card this time. All right, so we'll pop that to one side. I just want to add a sentiment into here. So we're just going to go with thank you so much, I think. And again, we can pop that in the centre there. Just line it up. I just want to give that one a quick wipe so I can pull that one off. And I just use a cloth mainly to just clean them up. And as I say, don't worry that it stains them. It's not going to damage your stamps at all. I could go on there now with a yellow ink and it wouldn't bring any of this off. So just to swap that out, because I want to pick up the sentiment there. And then we need some black ink just to pop that little sentiment in the centre.
Bethany's just asking what else you can clean. What can you clean the stamps with? I know we've sort of touched on it a little bit.
If you don't want to use baby wipes, just a soft cloth and water will work just the same. So you could spray your stamp with some water and just a soft cloth. We've had lots and lots of jokes about my soft cloth. Honestly, it used to be a pillowcase in a former life. But yeah, we've had lots of jokes. I've had people making fun of my cloth. I have. It's sort of hurt its feelings.
Oh, so it doesn't make an appearance anymore?
Well, yeah, it's a bit grubby.
Oh, dear. What made you decide to use it as a what made you decide to take a pillowcase into a cloth?
Well, it was a pillowcase that was it's upcycling. Yeah. There wasn't unused anymore, it was an old set, and it needs to be something that's smooth. So by using, for example, kitchen paper, all you do is rough up the surface and end up with bits of kitchen paper stuck all over. So you need something smooth. The reason I went for a cloth is so that it goes in the washer every so often and wash it through. Along with the daubers off my sponge applicators, put them all in a little bag.
They go in the wash?
They go in the wash, yep.
What do you mean in a bag? In like a little...
Just, you know the old little drawstring bags that you used to put the washing tablets in? I've got some old ones of those, so I just put them all in there to keep them together. Wash them. Because it's water-reactive ink, just washes it out, cleans them up.
Doesn't it like fluff up the...
Nope.
That's a brilliant... I think that is my favourite... That's my tip of the year so far. Tip of the year,
There you go, you see.
Put them in the wash.
All these different things. Yep, and so every so often they all go through the wash there. So we've actually got a blank card going on here. And again, I wanted to just show you, this looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah? But then, people are afraid of using black on cards. I know when I was teaching at the store, don't like using black, it's a bit dramatic, but just watch the difference. Again, that 1/4 inch bigger, just to make that little tiny frame, and look how it lifts it
just
from the card. It does make a world of difference. It does. Yeah. And then talking about those nesting dies, as if we're new, Ben, this is actually a different stamp. It's not the one from the set. I've used that inside. This is just one that I had on my desk at home. It is a crafter's one. It's the thank you set that's got all the different thank you sentiments on, but it's the stitched circles.
That's the one we had on earlier on Craft Vault.
It could be.
It is,
yes.
definitely.
And then the scallop circle behind it in the black. So literally I've cut one black one in with scalloped edge, and then one circle when I've stamped my sentiment. So I always tend to stamp first, and then you can position your circle around it and cut where you want it. And then I have the most impressive stash of little adhesive pearls, Ben. I've got a huge box full of them, and just managed to pick out exactly the same colours as what I'd used with my pens. So I've just stuck those on there just to add a bit of colour. I wanted to get a bit colourful with this one. So again, I'm just going to stick it together. We've got that inside bit that I've matted and layered on some black card again, just to echo the front. So I don't know whether you've got anything while I'm just sticking.
Yeah, absolutely. There's loads of votes coming in. You know what? Loads of people loving your tips as well. That honestly is my favourite tip of the year so far. Taking the little heads off your doorbells, stick them in your little bag. Yeah. I remember, I know what you mean. A little bag you used to put your little washing tablet into the wash. Give them a wash. I love it, and I love the fact that your little cloth was made out of your pillowcase as well. I tell you at the minute, the card which is going to win, unless there's a substantial amount of votes for any others, is the butterfly. The butterfly, everybody is loving so
Fantastic.
much. Gilmore likes the heart the best. Peg says the butterfly. Tonya saying the butterfly wins. Sarah saying, Jan, thank you so much for your demos today. They are all great.
Thank you.
And the first vote that I've seen has just come in for this one. It's not even finished, this particular card. But Anne says, oh, my vote for the winner card is that psychedelic flower card.
Yeah, love the colour.
Yeah, it's great.
There it is. I was going to say, I've just put a line of adhesive across there and then couldn't see it. Just pulled a bit of black ribbon out of my stash there. Again, I've got oodles of stash. I keep laughing. I saw something on social media the other day and I thought, it just sums me up, Ben.
Yeah.
It said something about to my family, kids, your inheritance is in the craft room. And I thought that just about sums me up. If they want to they said, what we're going to do, Mum? If anything happens, I says, just open the doors and let us just have a sale. Free for all. They are a little bit crafty, the girls, but in different ways, not so much paper crafting. My youngest daughter works with resin. She's doing a lot of resin work, which is nice.
Oh, right.
And then the oldest one, which is the writer that we had on the show.
Yeah, I saw that actually.
Had the photo this morning on the show. She does a little bit of paper crafting, but she's more into, she's just started collecting the pebbles to do the pebble art, which looks great. It's really,
so
really
popular.
nice. Yeah.
Round our way, there's somebody who does them and writes little sort of positive messages on them, and
yes,
just leaves
and then
them
redistributes them, for people to find.
Love it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just going to pop, because I've got ribbon on here, I'm just going to pop a couple of lengths of red line tape to stick this over the ribbon. So when I'm using, something that's a different texture, we've got the fabric there.
Yeah.
Either hot glue or the silicone glue or the red line tape, because you're going onto the fabric. So we'll just pop that on. And I want that to be the focal point, and pop the stamps into the background to just show you that, yes, they are a beautiful focal point stamp, but you can also create your backgrounds with them as well and get a very different look. I'll bring the butterfly one in, seeing as that's the one that's in the lead, but a very different look.
Absolutely.
You wouldn't think that this was a outline stamp when you look at it like that on the background. Okay?
Love it. Do you know what? Talk about the butterfly card. You're all loving that one. There's so many comments now coming in for the gorgeous flower. Marilyn on YouTube saying, yes, the colourful flower is my favourite. Gloria says, wow, Jan, all of your cards are great. Anne says, they're all nice. I can't choose. You've got to choose, Anne. You've got to choose. You can't say they're all nice. You've got to pick a winner to play this game. Love the flower card, says Sonia. Definitely the flower card, says Karen.
Oh,
wow.
Fantastic.
At the minute then, it looks like it's that butterfly. Could be the flower. Get voting, because we'll be announcing the winner, I reckon, in around about 15 minutes' time. But the point of the matter is, whichever you love, whichever demo you've loved the most over the course of the last hour and 40 minutes or so, you have the ability to be able to recreate them all because you're going to get the full set brand new. Don't forget, it's our launch day. Over a quarter of the stock has now gone on this amazing collection, the abstract shapes. This is that gorgeous flower that we saw just a few moments ago. Real sort of flower power feel about it, psychedelic feel. And wasn't that card just brilliant? To, you know, to be able to use this as is, or then to be able to use kind of different elements from it as well to be able to create beautiful backgrounds. Just so versatile, and the sentiments that go with these as well, just amazing. You make me smile. Thank you so much. You are wonderful. All photopolymer stamps as well, don't forget, so you know that you're getting real quality. This heart, again, the demo that we saw a little bit earlier on, if you have just joined us, make sure you watch the start of the show to see this one in action. But again, love that. Love the size of these, the design of these, the fact that you've got the gorgeous flowers within the heart, and once again, some really gorgeous sentiments to go with that collection as well. The butterfly is still the favourite as far as the demo is concerned. I mean, you can see why we love our butterflies in craft, don't we? The butterflies and flowers and hearts. It's a gorgeous stamp, gorgeous design within the stamp as well. Some lovely sentiments, wishing you happiness. Life isn't perfect, but it does have perfect moments, and you are always in my thoughts. And then finally, here it is, that amazing star. Look at that, just so much fun, isn't it? Believe you can, and you're halfway there. You're amazing, and it is your time to shine. A brand new collection. You saw a sneaky peek of this a little bit earlier on, but now is the time to jump in and buy the full collection. 16 elements, £28 or $35. So your price is already low. We've already taken a chunk off it, even though it's launch day. You can take off even more depending on where you are as far as Club Inspire is concerned. $22.40 if you're platinum, or $28. Grab this today. Over a quarter of the stock has gone. And tell you what, I will look through all of the comments and try to work out which one is the winning demo as we get our fifth and final demo on this collection with Jan. So I lose track now. What are we going to see?
I'm going back to the heart
back
now,
to the heart.
because we've done one of each. I wanted to make sure that you saw all of them out stamped. I've gone back to the heart this time, and we're going to go pink. I've not done any pink, and it wouldn't be a show without some pink. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, so we're going to go back to that heart-shaped one, which we used right at the beginning with the red. And this time I've got a little bit of paper out of one of the paper pads rather than stamping cards. So we're actually going to do a bit of heat embossing again, but I'm going to do the gold this time. So same techniques again. We just need to pop that anti-static on there so that I get that, especially with it being gold powder now and not clear. Yep. I don't want those little speckles of gold everywhere that I don't want them. So again, do the anti-static bit. We're then going to line the stamp up in the centre there. Whoops, pop that on there. And then I'm going to stamp this time with that clear embossing ink. So the watermark translucent clear, because we're going to put a coloured powder over the top. So literally, this is where you'll see the little pot of powder, Ben, with the piece of folded paper this time.
Oh, not the big,
not the big
one
tub.
with the teaspoon.
So again, I'm going to ink up my stamp with that sticky clear ink. So this was the clear one again. Just ink it up well and make sure we get that transfer to the paper. Okay, and I'm just going to do that in the centre of that piece of design paper. And I've used this paper right the way through the card. It's from our Garden of Love, I think it was. Yeah. Sarah Signature Collection, which is a really nice pink and green and gold theme. Runs through that set. So again, pop that down on there, and you can't see an awful lot until we get the paper. All right, so let's just take those off there. Lift this off. Be careful not to touch where the embossing is. And then again, this one is gold detail powder. And when we put this over the top and tap that residue off, you'll see that come to life there. Look, can you see? So just missed a little bit in that side. But look again, yeah? So if you get any stray bits where you don't want them, and you can see them, oops, tap too much off there. Don't be quite so dramatic with my paintbrush there. So yeah, if you can see any speckles where you don't want, just a dry paintbrush and you can actually bring them sort of off the edge there. Okay. Just to dust them off, all right? So I'm just pop that one side, get rid of this bit because I don't want to heat all that that's left. And again, you know, these last forever. you can see that there's still a fair bit in that one, even though I've been using it quite a while.
The amount that goes back in is
so
huge,
again, we'll bring that heat tool up, and I'll do the same again. If you've just joined us, I'll just show you that heating from underneath the paper again. Just get that to heat up, and I'm literally going to hold it with the tweezers because it is only paper and I don't want it to burn my fingers. All right, so if I hold it with those, and again I'm going to come from underneath, so you can see this is actually quite dull at the minute, but once we get the heat underneath it, you'll be able to see it start to turn. I'm on this this large flower on the top. Can you see there? Look, it's starting to go.
It's one of those things you never get bored of watching, do you?
Honestly, it's like magic, it's like alchemy.
Yes,
and it never ever gets old, no matter how many times you do it. I've been doing this for years. I started out with stamps and embossing, and it just wows you every time you do it, but it's so quick. Obviously, it's only on the paper there. All right, and I have managed to get a few speckles on there even so. All right, so forgive me for that. So I'm going to let that dry for a second. I'll just show you what it looks like there, and again, catching that light, look, you've got that lovely shimmer on it. But we'll just let that dry, and then I'm going to pop my card together. So we've made a gatefold card this time, and again, I've got the gold mirror card from our luxury card packs this time. And I've cut the paper literally just like we were talking at before, 1/4 inch smaller all the way around, so you've got that lovely border there. So we'll just start building this up while that heat, when you've done heat embossing, it just takes a second or two for it to settle. If you touch it straight away, it still feels tacky, and you can sometimes sort of feel and get a fingerprint left in it. So just when you've finished heating it, let it rest just for a second or two so that it dries, and then we can actually buff the residue off it there. So that's for the inside, and then I've made a couple of panels to go. Ooh, we've got tape on those, look. Here, see. Sometimes I'm more organised than I think I am.
No, seriously.
So that one's going to go on this side with that lovely gold speckle on the outside there, like so. And then I've got the same at the other side. Don't know why I'd done these and not the inside one, but hey ho. And then that gold speckling down the outside edge again. Okay. And then what I've got for this one, this should be dry now. So again, just with that grotty cloth, I'm literally just going to go across the top. It comes in handy for all sorts.
Hey, if it works, it works.
It works. Yeah, it works for me. All right, so again, I'm just going to pop this onto the gold mirror mat, and then you might be surprised at what I'm going to do to it next. Let's have a little look. So that one's going to go on there, and again, these are all just 1/4 inch smaller, the mats. And then I'm going to bring my guillotine in. All right, and I'm going to actually chop it in half.
You're doing what?
I am, yes. So let's have a look. We've got, where have we got? 4 5/8. It would be, wouldn't it?
Oh,
so
brilliant.
2 1/4 and a bit. 2 1/4 and a bit.
2 1/4 and a bit.
Do you like my measurements? Yeah, 2 1/4 and a bit. And I'm literally going to cut it in half, all right? So, literally what I want to do now is stick half of it on each side so that it looks as if it's one piece, but it's going to open with my card. So again, because we're sticking on there, I'm going to put some red line. I've got some tape on the back of there, but I'm going to put the red line on because we're going over that foiled cardstock. So I want to do down that outside. We'll just stick a piece on there for now.
Just got some flashbacks then with your 4 5/8 of the maths homeschooling that we've been doing over the course of the last few days. Well, you'll appreciate this being a teacher. Long multiplication and long division.
Oh my goodness.
I've relearned this week.
Yep.
Oh dear, I tell you what.
Takes you back, doesn't it?
Oh, doesn't it take you back?
I used to teach a lot of science.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to be well up on my facts. I used to do a lot of revision because whereas you remember parts of it, you don't retain all of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I used to be forever revising stuff on the Roman Empire and...
What do you do as a teacher though? I've always thought this, because you know, as a kid, you think your teacher knows everything, and you think, you know, if you ask a question in class, they're going to know the answer. As a teacher, what do you do when an 8-year-old asks you a question you don't know the answer?
You say, well, actually, do you know, Ben, I don't actually know that, but we could research it and find out the answer, couldn't we? There
Brilliant.
you go, you see.
Brilliant.
Right.
Yeah, we'll research it together.
So that one is going to go on that side. Yeah, there's always a way around things.
Yeah.
It's impossible to know everything, isn't it? And it's like my mind does carry quite a bit of stuff, usually useless stuff.
Yeah, same with me.
But yeah, so that's going to go on there like so that when we open it, we've got that illusion there. I'm then going to put, and I've put foam pads on this to keep it straight, but I'm only going to take them off the one part.
By the way, if you're voting for this one as your demo of the show, this is Heart Mac 2, isn't it? Heart Mac 2.
Heart 2,
Heart Mac
yeah.
2.
Okay.
I'm going to let producer Johnny, you can give me the final wording, because there's so many votes coming in. I lose track of what's what. It's probably flower and butterfly for me at the minute. But
is it? Just to explain what I've done there, Ben. I've stamped again with the pink quick dry ink. So this is the pink tulip onto a piece of the scrap paper. And again, I had some heart dies in my stash, so I've just cut it slightly smaller. And then I've done the gold one again and cut it slightly smaller to layer this up. So this is going to be the front of my card. But because we've only stuck one side down, it's going to open up. And then right at the end there, in that stamp set, we've got... Friendship is a flower that blooms in all seasons. So I've just done that with the square nesting dies.
Yeah.
And I'm going to pop that inside as my sentiment. Just keeping that square theme. I've just put a little bit of ink. All right. So again, when we close it, you can see that's the finished product.
That's brilliant.
So you've got the front there, and then when it opens up, it exposes that inside part as well. So that's my last demo today with
what a demo to leave to the
blooming
end.
heart. So yeah, Alex, over to you guys now to decide which one's going to win.
Are you kidding me? That's probably my favourite one now. And Jan leaves it right to the end.
Save the best while last.
I ain't got time to vote now for it. Oh, brilliant. But doesn't it show you, though, in all seriousness, the kind of things that you can create, the kind of cards that you can make in home decor projects as well. Bridget on Facebook says, I bought the stamp collection. Good work, Bridget. Hopefully it will be here in time for my mum's birthday, end of the month, so I can make a card for her 80th birthday. And that's the point, isn't it? You know, it's that kind of collection again which spans generations, you know, it spans different occasions, and it's a stamp set that you're going to be using this week, next month, next year. You're just going to keep coming back to it time and time again. It's a great price as well. Should be $31.96 or $39.80. Launch day, over a quarter of the stock gone. £28 or $35 is your deal on this, and you get all 4 of these gorgeous sort of mini collections within the main collection. 16 elements in total. Your first is the Blossoming Florals, which a lot of you have loved. Love that demo that Jan showed us a little bit earlier on. That comes with some beautiful sentiments like "You make me smile" and "Thank you so much." Love the beautiful flowers within the flower. Then that heart, I mean, what a demo that was. We saw just a few moments ago there, showing you the versatility of that heart stamp. All photopolymer, of course, don't forget, you know, real top quality stamps, and just gorgeous, the flowers within that heart. Such a great idea, great design. Have a beautiful day. Friendship is a flower that blooms in all seasons, and you are blooming fabulous. Then you've got this butterfly. Again, so many of you commenting on the demo that Jan did a little bit earlier on, but just so very different, isn't it? We love our butterflies within craft, love the detailing within the actual butterfly stamp itself, and some gorgeous sentiments to go with it as well. And there's that star. Again, just beautiful, nice big size. Love all of the cascading stars within the actual stamp itself. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. You're amazing, and it is your time to shine. Brand new today, you can be one of the very first to get this collection. £28 or $35. You're already saving over 10%. And of course, if you are a platinum member, another 20% off, $22.40 or $28 today. Right, before we wrap up, this has been tough, let me just tell you. I'm glad that I'm not having to pick this because I've seen all of the lovely comments coming through. Lisa saying, well, just sent me a load of flower emojis. Teresa sent me a load of butterfly emojis. Katie says butterfly. Laura says flowers. Sue says my vote is for heart too. I like the unusual way it opens. Bobby says star is my choice. Helen says the last heart card is my favourite. We're just going to go over live to the gallery with Johnny. He tells me that the winner is the butterfly.
Hey. Let's bring that one forward then. Let's pop it there so that you can see then.
Talk us around that one again then quickly, Jan.
So this was our bridge stroke theatre card, whatever we decided we were going to call it. So this was the inked background, using the pigment inks off the show today as a background, over stamped with a little bit of quick dry just to give it some body, and then basic matting and layering, and then you've got that butterfly was done with the black ink and the clear embossing powder there, using sentiments from the stamp set from our launch today. Butterfly embellishments I know you've all got in your stash somewhere, and then literally that was just my quirkiness, just adding the key in the middle there just for a bit of something different, and that was coloured with my alcohol marker because it was the wrong colour, so I just changed it to black. Yep. Fantastic. I love it. So thank you very much for all the comments. They are greatly appreciated.
Well, I tell you what, it has been a busy old show. And I think as far as shows that I've done, as far as comments that have come in, votes that have come in, I think that one's been the busiest. So it shows you how much you've enjoyed all of the demos. That card we'll put up on our little crafty walk of fame. And of course, you'll get another chance to see that on Second Chance Sunday. That's why we're doing these, because it allows us to kind of point back to particular shows. So if you've missed a demo, we can tell you on what show it was and we can recap the weekend, and you can go back and watch it once again. And of course, it's quite nice, isn't it, to crown our winner each week. I think that one is a strong contender. Brilliant thing is, of course, more chances for Jan to get on our Crafty Walk of Fame, because we will be with Jan again a little bit later on with Creative Cravings coming your way. No doubt lots of great demos coming up. Bit of a sneaky peek as to what you've got for us in an hour's time.
I'm just going to say alphabets, Ben. Alphabets, yep. So we're going to do some crazy demos again with the different, we've got some butterfly alphabets coming up. We've got some left fold alphabets, yep. All about the letters and the numbers.
Excellent. Yeah. Well, Jan, thank you so much. It's been
welcome.
An absolute pleasure. Always inspirational. The demonstrations are always great, and lots more to come at 4 o'clock. Yes. Alphabets is the way forward at 4 o'clock on Creative Cravings. Great show if you're brand new to us as well, because we will be showing you lots of hints and tips and demos that you can pick up if you're new to us here at Crafters TV, and indeed new to crafting. And then of course a little bit later on, as part of our new schedule, we have got the Craft Vault as well, 7 o'clock. UK time. I'm trying to do my hours now. Is that 2 o'clock Eastern? Yeah, 2 o'clock and 11 o'clock Pacific. If you missed any of the deals that we had a little bit earlier on, we'll be recapping on all of that, myself and Craig, from 7 o'clock. But we are off to get a cup of tea, and we will be back with you in around about an hour's time. So why don't you grab yourself a cuppa and come back to us in just an hour. Bye for now.